find where it went. There it is. Okay, so let's just go over the chart real quick. So a, I, u, e, o. This center line is usually a little bit more centered, but other than that, it looks good. Ka, ki, ku, ke, ko. Just be careful. This is okay for it to be this long, but you don't want it to stick up any more than that. Okay. Sa, shi, su, se, so, looking good. Ta, chi, tsu, pe, to. Okay. The tsu and shi, do people see a differentiation? Sort of. Tsu sometimes also comes out a little bit more vertical on the two short lines. That's one other way to help you see the difference between that and that. Shi, the two sides are kind of both laying down but in opposite directions, like recliners facing each other. And tsu, they're all kind of standing up a little bit more. Does that make sense?
Can you reluctantly go over which the C and Su?
Shi and Su?
Yeah.
The
Shi
stroke
and
order?
Su. Yeah, just which way the diagonal line goes?
Yeah, that's what we were just talking about. So shi, 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Okay. Su, 1, 2, 3.
Gotcha.
Okay. So broader here, narrower here. Right? This one's, the Su is narrower than the shi. Shi, everything's laid out further. You know, the two little lines are a little bit stronger incline to the one side, and the shi is a stronger incline to the other side. Su, these are still a little bit diagonal, but they're closer to the vertical. And this starts out sort of vertical and then curves downwards. So, does that help some? Okay, and then of course, so is similar to tsu, but with only one short line instead of two. Okay, so and tsu are similar to one another. And then is more like shi. Okay? Okay, so te is pretty good. I would curve this a little bit more on te. Okay, na, ni, nu, ne, no. Sorry about the line in the way. Ha, hi, fu, he, ho. Ma, mi, mu, me, mo. This does not need to stick out that way. That's more of a font style. Mu, normally this is one line, two lines. Okay, so mu is like a bent line and then the little piece. Same thing with ma. That's one piece, two. Okay. Mi could be a little bit more angled. This is okay. I can kind of tell that it's mi, but an even stronger angle is probably easier to identify. Otherwise, it could look like a sloppy kanji san. This is the number 3 in kanji. So, mami, mu, me, mo, looking good. Ya, yu, yo, looking good. Da, di, du, de, do, good. Wa, o, Yay. So, does everybody have a pretty good feel for at least the fundamentals? Obviously, we haven't got them all memorized yet, but that's what today is for. Okay, so the next thing we're going to look at is, we're going to do some drilling. And I'll pull this down, make it a little bit, see what we're doing. Okay, so we're going to do a quick run through. The good news, of course, is the alphabetical order is identical to hiragana. Okay, so we're going to start by doing a run through just to review. We're going to do the read it and repeat it thing, okay? And then we're going to do scrambled ones with the flashcards. See how well you guys know them, okay? So let's read them together. Ah, 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 ah. E, 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 ooh, 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 sorry, that's What am I thinking? O, Ka, T, Ku, Ke, Ko, Sa, She, Su, Se, So, Ta, Chi, Tsu, Te, To, Na, Ni, Nu, Ne, No, Ha, He. Sorry. He. Who. He. Ho. Ma. Me. Mu. Me. Mo. Ya. You. Yo. La. Li. Lu. Le. Lo. Wa. O. Okay, we're gonna kind of assume that you guys can extrapolate to the diacritical mark ones, and we're actually gonna do diacriticals and combos as well from the flashcards. So these are already scrambled. Question first?
So for so, it's a dot and it goes down, and then
Yes.
for
It's the dot and then the check mark up. Yes. Okay, so this one is she. Yes. Na. Gu. He. He. Yes. He. Right. Ku. All right. Ne. Ba. Good. Ta. Stick. Poo. Right. There you go. Is that G or zoo though?
Zoo.
It's zoo, right? That is. Now we're. If you let's see if I can find where the she was.
It's in the first pile.
Not there. It was just here. Really was. There it was.
The last one.
Okay, can you see the contrast between the she and the tsu? Even though it's a fancy font and not handwriting, they still do a pretty good job of distinguishing them, right? Okay, can you see how much narrower the gap is between the two closest lines across the top on the tsu, and how much broader the gap is across the top on the she? That's one of the key ways to differentiate the two, is how broad this gap is across tip to tip versus here, tip to tip. And see how much more these lay down compared to those. Can you see it?
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, it also, the dots, the ones wherever the broad part is where they're angling towards.
Okay, yeah. Unfortunately, you can't depend on that, because there are times, This is a calligraphy style. The way it goes thick to thin, thin to thick, like that, that's a calligraphy thing. Unfortunately, not every line starts thick and then trails off. Sometimes they do the opposite, where they start where the pen is barely touching and then they add pressure as they go, so it actually starts narrow and gets thicker. The way you can tell which one it is, sometimes at least, is when it starts thick, there'll be like an extra thick part at the top, and then it gets skinny. Do you see how there's like a little bulge at the very top there? That's generally an indication that the line started there, but it's not 100%. Yeah.
I actually meant the space between the line and
Okay,
the
the
two
space
dots.
between.
Like for that one, the dots are going down more, and then that part is broader.
Right.
And then the other one, they're going this way, and it's broader up top.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So there's more open in here versus more open here. Is that what you were talking about? Yes. So that's another way to tell the difference.
It just kind of looks like they're facing each other.
Yeah.
Their faces.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, some people see like weird smiley faces in these, very lopsided ones. Never really worked for me, but some people see that. So anyway, so that's she and this is zoo. Okay. Let's see what else have we got. Okay, so this one is te. Sa. Ho. Yes. Mo. Ni. Be. Yeah. So this one is heat, and then with the tin it's be. Su. There we go again. Okay. Su.
Yeah.
We just talked about zoo, and this is the su that they came from. Yes. Se. Me. See how angled those are? There's no mistaking that for horizontal, right? Yeah. Me. Wa. Good. Lo. Yeah. De. Su. De. Da. E. Me. This is me, right? Remember, I, me means this eye that you see with, and it looks like a cartoon black eye. Me. E. Ha. Nu. Za. Ma. Ka. Fu. Ho. Zo. Yes. Here's two things. First of all, this is more vertical. It's not laying down this way. So that is first thing that tells you this has to be zo, not n. Second thing is 10-10. There's no 10-10 on an n, ever. Right?
That's what I was like, what? That's not right.
Yeah, you can't do an n with 10-10. Right? So, but also narrower here, broader here, like David pointed out. So and tu have that commonality, right? And n looks more like she. So this one is clearly zo. Ke. Yes. There's G. See how much more these are laying down compared to this one? These are down here more and closer to horizontal. Yes?
I'll learn that eventually.
Yeah.
You know, can I make it easier?
What's that?
Do the clear paper and then just make it in 2 different colors and then overlay it.
Very interesting idea. So yeah, do some, yeah, if I could get some transparencies printed of she and su and so and n, we can overlay them and contrast them. I'll see if the print department can do that for me. Good concept. If I forget, do you think you can remember to email me a reminder that we talked about that? Because I will forget, otherwise I'll walk out of here today probably. O. P.
Yeah.
Ya.
remember so is
So.
that one. I just
Yeah.
can't remember the
Yeah,
sound.
yeah, well, there's a tendency for people to want she and so to be the same style, but they're actually the opposite styles. She is more like and so is more like tu. And people always want the two S ones to be the same kind, and they're not. So that's one way to remember it. No. There you go. Ooh. Yeah. E. Yeah.
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 Move.
Ooh. Z. Bo. Do. Mu. Mu. E. Okay, and wo. Let me see if I can find that so again so we can do that contrast. I don't remember where it is. Oh well. But yeah, the angle is different.
The bottom line is.
The bottom line, they're both more this way with and more that way with so. Not, like here versus here. So, but yeah, the transparency overlay idea is a good one. So I'll see if I can get those made.
And if not, just get like the transparent graph paper for like math and then just
Draw them, yeah. Okay, so,
Really, you could just do that on the board, can you? Just
yeah.
write a.
Well, yeah, I mean,
color
I
chart.
that's a good point. I could do that right now. Don't have to wait for, okay, I'm gonna end this for now. I'm gonna turn this off so that I can write on the board without it shining at me. What was I gonna, so yeah, what I was gonna do next. So yeah, before we do the combo so, okay, here's a nice neat suit already done, and let me show you she. Does that help? Do you see a contrast enough?
Yeah.
So would be like that versus like that. So they're not a huge contrast, but there is a difference. Does that help a little bit? Okay. So, okay, what I wanted to do next is we'll talk about combination characters, and then I want us to do everyone's names in here. Okay. I know a few of you already know how to do your name in katakana, but not everybody does yet. And I also figure it would be good reading practice if we write them all up on the board, and then everybody can try to decipher each other's names and see if they can figure out who's who. So, Mu. Yeah, this is you, so that's Mu. Okay. Pyo. Yes.
Does it fall?
Full. This is one of those special characters. Hiragana doesn't do this, right? But if you want to have a full sound in Japanese, it's going to be from a foreign word. It's not going to be an original Japanese word, and this is how you can spell it. So, for example, California. Actually, I think they might do California. Yeah. Yeah, it's a mouthful at any rate, but full.
Did they say football? Or did they have another name?
No, they use football for football. Yeah, but that's the other thing that's kind of fun, is to just play around with foreign loan words that you should be able to recognize. So that's another thing I will probably do for you guys, is just give you some to decipher. Yeah.
Fee.
Fee, yes. So now we're getting into like Jack and the Beanstalk territory, right? Fee, fi, fo, fum.
What is fo again?
Yeah, fee and fo. We've got two of them covered, right? What's this one?
Meow.
Yeah.
You.
View,
Fa.
fa, as in do, re, mi, fa. Right?
We got
This
the
is
other
how they
one.
would spell that in Japanese. Fa. Hyo. Yes. Kya. Kya.
You.
View. Yes. Which could be for like view in Japanese. View. Because they sometimes replace V's with V sounds. Chew. Yeah. Which is onomatopoeia for a little kiss. Chew. There's a Spirited Away scene where the little creature is giving the girl a kiss. Chew. It's an interesting one. It's a su with an e, so si or si. Yeah, something like that. Si. Si. Yeah, so.
Like a Russian.
Yeah, this doesn't sound like one that they've invented for English purposes. I think this might be for foreign words from other languages than English.
So onomatopoeias would be written in katakana.
Yes, onomatopoeias are almost always written in katakana. And a lot of times in manga, especially, they'll be incorporated into the illustration rather than in the speech bubble. So even when you're looking at manga that have been translated to English, which I'm sure there are some manga fans in here, look in your illustrations and see if you don't identify some crazy font katakana that you never realized was there before. It'll be weird fonts very often, but
Yeah, doesn't
Yeah.
help, but mostly the onomatopoeias don't make much sense to us.
right. Well, once you can sound it out in katakana, you might be able to see where, oh, okay, that kind of sounds like something that might be happening.
Or you
Yeah.
can figure out what it means with the
Right.
context, though.
Right,
Yeah.
with the context
With the
and
context,
the
yeah.
illustration, you might be able to figure out what kind of sound that is for Japanese people. You know, because some of them are totally different from English. Gatan, for example, is something heavy falling and clanging.
We would say. Clang.
Yeah.
Cha.
Cha.
Jet.
Jet, as in,
Kind
Jet.
of, but
yeah, as in jetto would be a jet, or Jessica, the name Jessica. Jeremy would be Jeremy, you know, jet.
Joe.
Joe, as in Joel. I've got a Joseph in my other class, he goes by Joel. So, ja. Hey. Shoe, yes, shoe, as in something on your foot. View, yes. Hyo, good. Kya, yeah.
Wet.
Yes. Wet, yes. As in waiter. Or weito. You know, I can't think of a lot of other examples right now.
is it?
This,
Not.
it is a V sound, but what vowel is it?
Blue.
Vu, yeah, so this is the closest Japanese gets to VU, vu, okay? Some Japanese people can actually pronounce the V sound. Some people try as hard as they can, it still comes out sounding like a B.
That'd be fun to try to teach the little kids in
Yeah.
their schools.
So some people say this boo, and some people try really hard, and it's you know, some people say this vu, and some people try really hard, it still comes out like boo. You know, they're
What is
trying
it?
to say boo.
Is it more just they can't tell the difference, like if they hear it? Because there's lots of foreign words that I
There-
hear that I just can't.
Yeah, but partly it's if their ear can't distinguish the difference, then they have no basis for deciding how to say it differently.
Yeah.
That happens with the LR difference too, from English to Japanese. But also some of them have never been shown how to form it with their mouths. So
Yeah,
if,
I
if
agree.
you've never been taught how to, like catch your bottom lip and make it vibrate, and if you can't get the hang of that, then it just keeps coming out boo. Boo, boo, yeah, so that's boo first. And then this one would be va, ve, nyo, nya, which is cat sound, nya, nya. Hue, yeah. Fe, yeah, fu, et, fe. So like, I can't think of a fe word in
Feather,
Katakana.
but
Feather, yeah, that would come out feza. Because there's no THs in Japanese either. Feza. So this one would be byo, good. Mu, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yo.
byo, yeah.
Yeah.
Hya, yeah. Pew, yeah, pew. Pew, 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 yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Myo.
Myo.
Ju.
Dew, as in Mountain Dew. Yeah, if you like soda, dew might be one of the ones you're looking for in Japan at some point. That's how it would get spelled too.
D.
D, yeah, because there's no D otherwise, right? It's G or chi. But how do you get D or T? Te-I and de-I make T and D. So this is D. So for example, DVD. Okay, and this one is T, as in TV, although they usually use terebi for a television. Terebi, yeah. Yes, well, it came from television, but then they shortened it to terebi. So terebi,
But yeah.
yeah, terebi is the normal word for it. And some of these katakana words predate the invention of the V sound spellings. The u 1010 is relatively recent, so some of the standard spellings for things still use the B replacing the V, because that was already in the language before somebody came up with a way to make a V. Okay, this one would be
So.
so, yeah, so. Again, doesn't necessarily sound like it's something that English,
Well, like General
Long
Tso's
word.
chicken, I would say.
yeah, it might be for something like that, it might be for something from, Russian or another Eastern language, Eastern European language or something, who knows? They've got loan words from lots of other languages, not all English. So, che, as in check. Hi. Check. Yes, se. Again, I'm not sure what some of these get used for, but there it is. And sa. Sa.
Cho.
Cho, yeah. She, as in sherry, or
Like in the book
Shit.
it said shepherd.
ship, okay, shepherd, yeah. Chef, that's another one.
The.
Jew, yeah. And, yeah, as in juice, yeah. Show, yeah, as in show. As in like a show, yeah. Sha, Q, Yo, Ya, Wo. This is as close as you're going to get to a W-O sound for katakana, wo. They don't use the particle o because that, one, gets pronounced as o these days, and two, it has that particle meaning implied, so it doesn't get used much since katakana doesn't usually get used for grammar things anyway. But if you want wool sound with a more of a W to it, this is what they use, wool. So, for example, wool top. V, yes, V. And
Sweet.
oui, as in French, oui, oui.
I think I've seen charts of like hiragana and katakana that include one that makes that sound, but it's like not used anymore. Is that the?
Okay, yes, let me finish this one and then we'll talk about ampersand. Vol, yeah. So what you've seen is, yes, in the chart where there are gaps in the traditional chart, wa, we, wu, we, wo, there used to be a we and a we in those gaps. They got discontinued basically because those sounds no longer exist in the language. So what you ended up with was two potential spellings for the same word, and you had to know, oh, well, this one's supposed to be spelled with this character and this one's supposed to be spelled with that character, but they weren't pronounced differently anymore. So when they modernized Japanese right after World War II, they actually got rid of those two letters because they were considered extraneous, no longer being pronounced differently from E and E.
Yeah.
So, and one can guess that there may have been other ones of those a long time ago. You know, maybe there used to be a yeah sound. Otherwise, why the heck would they have spelled yen with a Y? Right? Because Japanese pronounces it N, right? But maybe there was a time in ancient history when some of those were pronounced, but they're not anymore. So, so that's why that is. Okay, so let me see if, okay. So, I'm going to start writing some stuff in katakana, and you guys see if you can sound it out as I go, okay? So, oh, and the other thing we haven't talked about yet in here is the dash. What looks like a hyphen is an extended vowel in katakana. It doesn't get used as often in hiragana. In hiragana, usually you spell it out with whatever vowel sound you mean. But in katakana, they usually use the dash instead of writing the same vowel sound again. Okay, so let's see.
That was a
Let's see. Okay. Did I get everybody? Okay. So, first, I want us to go ahead and try pronouncing all of these out loud. And then I want feedback from you guys about whether this is the way you want your name to sound in Japanese, because we can tweak it until it sounds like it's supposed to. And then you can memorize how to spell it that way. Okay? So, Shiera. Good? Okay, so everybody try reading it with me. So can everybody decipher that? Shiera. Shiera. Okay? Sveta. Sveta. Good?
The first time I read it, I thought it was sweater.
Actually, sweater, believe it or not,
Oh dear. Where?
is seta. Entirely different.
Okay.
Seta.
Okay.
I don't know why, but that's it.
How's that mean?
So, sveta. Sveta. Good? That's about as close as you're going to get, right?
It's the only way you can get a V sound.
What?
Yeah. Okay, so this one is Davido. Davido. Is that pretty good?
Sure.
Okay. Okay.
Why is that?
Isan. There's no TH, so you're stuck with an S. Hi.
Why is the ending of David geminated like that?
I did this small suit here because otherwise it sounds like Davido,
Yeah.
which shifts the emphasis. Davido, I think, sounds closer to David instead of Davido.
So,
And if you want, instead of the B, you could do the V, Davido. Davido.
oh yeah, that's what I saw in here.
Yeah. So which would you prefer, B or V?
It might sound like a V anyway, but yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it's up to you. You, yeah, you could. Davido. Some people don't like using the V because it's more confusing to them to write, but on the other hand, it does get across to a Japanese person that it's supposed to be spelled with a V in your language. Even if they can't pronounce it properly, they'll at least get that, oh, okay, you have a V in your name. You know?
If you're reading an Old Testament that's been translated into Japanese, how would they spell David's name?
I think they spell it with the B because it is one of the older
I would
names.
go with that.
You know, it's one of those where, you know,
Such a hard decision.
yeah, you don't have to decide this minute.
Yes,
You can
but
write
the
both
name
versions
forever.
down.
This is what you're
This
gonna be
is-
called.
Yeah. Write both versions down and see which one you feel comfortable signing. How about that? Okay, so Ii-san. Okay. Tatiana. Or you could do Tatiana if you prefer, but this is a little bit closer to the American
Like for my
pronunciation.
name, I have two N's, so like would it?
Well, the
yeah,
two
would you still-
N's, if you spell it with two N's, it changes the sound in Japanese.
Oh,
Tatiana.
Oh, okay.
So do you want it emphasized
Oh,
like
okay.
that, or do you want it more
Yeah,
like the
that's
American
fine.
pronunciation? So Tatiana would get you closer to the pronunciation. That's the thing with Japanese, it's because it's so phonetic, you don't necessarily want to transfer your your spelling from English. You're more likely to want to transfer your pronunciation, right? So, let's see, Judan? Okay, Emily. Okay, Andrea? Pretty good?
Yeah, I spell
Yeah.
it like that.
Okay, Alex. That's as close as you're going to get to the darn X, you know? Right? Jaku. Again, that's as close as you're going to get, right? And then Kagoda. That's how my name comes out if you're trying to pronounce it the way my husband pronounces it. So,
Where is your husband from?
Kenya. Yeah. So, no, it's not a Japanese name. Sometimes people think, oh, but is it a Japanese name? It doesn't seem like a Japanese name, but she teaches Japanese. No. So, okay. So you guys want to just try a few weird ones and see if you can sound them out for yourselves?
Yeah, so these country names are really hard.
Okay, yeah. Do you want me to do the country names up here, or?
I like geography, so.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause I couldn't figure out what the country was or what it is.
Okay, let's, since they're in your book already, I don't need to write those. Let's look at them together. 何ページですか? Can you remind everybody?
？And I have a book to look at now.
Yeah, you can find it now. 295ですね。295ページ. Okay. Were there any questions about the food and drink words, or were those pretty easy?
Well,
We can go through and like read them, and once you've heard them, you might
fried
have.
potato.
Oh yeah, furaido potato.
Yeah,
Furaido potato is French rice. You know, orange juice, pretty obvious. OJ, cake. Yeah. Okay, salada, salad. Okay. Chocolate parfait.
Okay.
What?
Parfait, yeah. Chocolate,
Chocolate parfait. Okay.
chocolate, and parfait is parfait. Coffee, coffee, yes. Again, you can tell this is an older word, an older loan word, because they didn't have the invented fee sound yet, so they went with coffee. Because coffee's been around a long time, right? Okay. Sandwich.
Sandwich.
はい。ステーキ。
Stick.
はい。スパゲッティ。
Spaghetti.
はい。ピザ。はい。
Is it?
トースト。
Toast.
はい。レモンティー。
Lemon tea.
Hi. So yeah, if it's not traditional Japanese tea, which they call ocha in hiragana or kanji, then green tea. Have you ever had
Oh,
green
yeah.
tea? Yeah, that's Japanese tea. But if you've had, you know, if for example you're familiar with oolong tea, which is a Chinese style of tea, they call it oolong cha, or oolong tea sometimes. But like iced tea is iced tea, you know. So,
On the name on the bottom, what is
Uh-huh.
the little, there's like the VI and then there's something in between.
that's a small soup. Both of these are small soup.
What's with the small soup?
To make it sound like Davido instead of Davido.
It makes the next consonant longer.
It makes
Oh, is
the
that- okay.
D on the end a little bit stronger.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So let's read country and capital cities, and then we can try to, you know, decipher them. Okay. So Malaysia.
Malaysia.
Yes.
Kuala Lumpur.
Yeah. So the match would be Kuala Lumpur. Kuala Lumpur, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, go, fifth one down on the capital side. Okay. Oranda. Holland, yes. Okay, so the match to that would be Amsterdam. That Amsterdam. That's a mouthful, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, America should be obvious, and Washington D.C. Okay. Egypto.
Cairo.
はい。and Cairo. はい。Australia.
Australia.
Hi. So the capital would be. Everybody thinks Sydney, but it's not. Sydney.
Canberra.
Canberra. Yeah. Canberra. Canberra is the capital. Yeah, I know. Lots of people don't know that.
Lovely city, Canberra. Lovely.
Okay. Sweden.
Sweden.
Sweden is
Yeah.
Sweden, right?
Yes, Stockholm.
Hi, Stockholm.
Oh, this
Stockholm. Indo. Fairly obvious.
Not really.
Indo, really?
India?
India, yes.
I don't know.
Indo. And so the capital would be, anybody?
I know it's New Delhi, but.
New Delhi. New Delhi.
New Delhi.
Hi, there it is. New Delhi. You see it? Okay. And let's see. Argentina. Sorry, Argentine.
Argentine.
Argentina, yes.
Argentine.
It comes out Argentine. I'm not sure why. To me, that's not even the closest they could have gotten to the Spanish pronunciation of that country, but who knows? It's very possible with some of these place names, they didn't get them from that country or from English. They got them from some other source. I'm guessing, for example, with Argentine, maybe they got it from like German or something, because before World War II, Japan had fairly good relations with Germany before and during World War II. And, so they've got words from German in their language as well, and Prussian and Russian and, all kinds of different things. Japan hasn't just always been a U.S. ally, throughout their history they've had better relations or worse relations with a lot of different countries around the world, so. Okay, so Argentine, the capital is going to be? Buenos Aires. That one's fairly close to the Spanish.
Well,
Buenos
it doesn't
Aires.
say bueno though, it just says beno.
No, it's bue.
Bue.
Yeah, that's a full-size bu, a full-size e. So,
Oh, it is.
yeah. So Buenos Aires. Buenos Aires. That is fairly close.
Yeah.
Okay, and then, of course, the number 9 should be an easy one. Canada. And the capital, of course, is
Ottawa.
Ottawa. Yeah, not Toronto. Again, just a lot of Americans who don't know geography think that. Okay, do you guys want to experiment with some words that I'm just going to put up at random that have nothing to do with what's in the book? Let's see, how about, flashcards for some of these. What do you think? So what's this one? Shatoru.
Seattle.
Seattle, hi. This one? Hi. Hi.
Florida.
Hi.
Melbourne.
Melbourne, hi.
You said it and thought about it.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
okay. Anyone know this one? Igirisu. England, yes. Okay. Hi. Business, yeah, remember from last chapter, bijinesu. This was one of your vocabulary that was supplementary. Now it's coming back. Okay.
Highway.
Highway, yeah, as in Hyuju-go. Right? Yeah, as in gift. Presento. Presento. Tanjoubi presento. Birthday gift. Okay. Planet.
This comes
Yeah.
Venus.
Venus.
Should be Venus.
It's the V remember?
So whenever there's a diamond, like these ones,
It's one of those special ones.
so that
Venus.
becomes a V, right?
Yeah, it becomes a V.
Okay.
Venus.
It's so confusing. I was just like, why is there a different letter? Why is there another vowel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Duet?
Hai, duetto. Duetto, as in two violins playing together or something. Right? Everybody's favorite? Party. Yeah. Right? Party.
I think it's cold. Why am I thinking cold?
That was pop.
What?
Hai, Philippine. As in, Philippine would be
Philippines.
a Filipino person. Philippine. Right? Philippine. Ah, yeah. What some of you are writing with right now.
I'm not writing right now.
Okay. Yeah. As in a person's name, Lee. You know, could be an English-speaking person. It could be somebody from China. You know, or Korea. Yeah. Pizza. Yes. Yeah.
Bread.
Yes. Bread. Yes. See, that one's not from English. It's not burrito. It's pan, from like Spanish or Portuguese.
But we have toast.
Yeah, but toast though is different. Ha.
Auto.
Yes, automobile. Ha. Okay. Ah. One of the most essential words to know before you go to Japan. Toire. Toire. So you can ask toire wa doko desu ka? Where's the toilet? Yeah. Because if you need it, you need to know that word. Meru.
It's like email, isn't it?
Yes, this is email. Meru doesn't just mean mail in general, it actually specifically means email. Home. This is a weird one. What's it sound like? Home, right? But it's actually from platform. Before they had the full, they had whole.
Home plate.
And it's, so platform, as in train platform. So when you go to any train station in Japan, the different concrete slabs that you stand on waiting for your train to arrive, those are called homu. Okay, so depending on how big the train station is, there might be one homu and two train tracks, one on either side of it, and you just stand there and wait for your train. Or if you're in some place like Tokyo Eki, which is humongous, there are dozens, literally dozens of homu. And you have to know the name and color code of the line that you want and the number, and find your way to the right homu.
Is there a sign that says homu on there?
Sometimes they say homu, but what matters more is the number and the name designation, and thank goodness they color code everything too. So like the generally east-west line is one color, the generally north-south line is another color, the one that goes diagonally one way is another color, the one that goes diagonally another way is a different color, the one that circles the city is another color.
Are they mostly bullet trains?
No, bullet trains are for longer distance, but within the city, people still take trains a lot for
So
getting around.
It's
Like more like subways. Yeah, and they're local trains, so if you're just going from like Tokyo to Yokohama or Shizuoka, someplace relatively close, you probably don't want to spend the money for a Shinkansen ticket. But you can ride one of the local trains, and they have the true locals, which make every single little stop. Then there's the express and the super express, where they skip more of the stops and they only stop at the major stations. And so depending on where you're headed, you know, some people really know how to play the system, and like they're headed to a small station that's way over here, but they know that just before they get there, there's a main station, so they'll take like the express line to the main station, get off, wait for the next local train and get on that and go just one stop. It gets them there faster. You know, Somebody had their hand up? No? Okay. Yeah, so. Some of you are too young for this one.
Wine.
Wine. What,
Who else said it?
Alex, did you have a question or? No,
No.
okay.
Page.
Peiji.
Pager?
Page, as in page number. Peiji. So, 95 peiji would be page 95. Okay. Ah. Everybody's favorite winter sport?
Ski.
Ski. Yeah. And snowboard would also be katakana. Okay. Suits.
So,
Suit, yes, as in Western style business suit, suits. You know, suit jacket, slacks.
boru.
Boru, as in sports, like ball in general, boru. So like football, soccer ball,
Sounds like Boulder.
volleyball, no, wait a minute, volleyball, that's how they do volleyball, volleyball, and basketball, like
I
that.
watched a video of, I don't know which Asian country it was, might have been China,
Yeah.
and they played volleyball. It was a 2-minute rally, like 2.5-minute rally of just to get 1 point, like the.
Oh, I seen that.
And it was like so intense, it
It
was like
was
their
so
life
long.
depended on it. And I was like,
Wow.
oh my gosh,
the
how are
game
they not
depended on it.
exhausted?
Yeah,
Like,
some
it's
people
so
really
intense.
take their sports seriously, huh?
Oh
Okay,
my
what's
gosh.
this one? Cafe, cafe, as in a place to go
Get
to
coffee.
drink your kohi, right?
French coffee shop.
Yes.
Um,
And while you're there, you might also eat some
Big.
keiki. And the person who prepared it might be a chef. And which would be Asia, yes, Asia, Asia. But again, that doesn't always correspond as exactly. Noto, what some of you are writing in these days.
Notebook?
Yeah, it's actually notebook. Noto is short for notobook, and then writing notes, like taking notes or writing a note to someone, is memo. Okay, some of you have eaten this one. Ramen. Yes. Which, this is actually from Chinese, but the kanji for it are so obnoxious that this has become the standard. Nobody in Japan wants to write the kanji for ramen anymore. It's
Is
just,
there a different Chinese term for it, or is it still just ramen?
it's the equivalent of lo mein, which isn't pronounced lo mein in Chinese either.
Our things say cup noodles.
Yeah, but ramen is the Japanese version of lo mein. So just like American lo mein is not exactly the same as what you get when you go to China, ramen isn't really like what they serve in China either. It's the Japanese version, Japanized version of it, if you want to call it that. Yeah. Just like this one is not the same as what you get in India. Kare, yes. If you get it in Japan, it might actually be somewhat spicy instead of burn your whole head off spicy. You know, if you get it in India and you're not accustomed to spices, you will not survive the experience.
They give it to the baby. They make it
Yeah.
spicy.
Yeah, they as soon as kids are eating solid food in India, they start accustoming them to spices.
How do they not lose their, like, taste buds?
They're adaptive.
You're
very
asking the
slowly.
wrong person.
I don't know.
Is that tea supposed to be there?
Yes,
T-shirts.
T-shatsu, yes. You can spell this with a te, small e, T-shatsu. But some people write the English letter for T-shatsu. Okay, this one everybody knows. Hai, Furorira, where we are right now. Okay, one of our close neighbors. Hi, Mexico, Mexico, Mexico.
But there's no she.
I know, Mexico. That's the closest they can get to the X sound. Mexico,
But
Mexico.
what is it? They didn't even have to. What if it's just
I know.
Meji?
I know. Well, again, I think they got that one from Americans, not from the Mexicans themselves. They should have asked Mexico, how do you want your country name pronounced in Japanese? But they didn't. They asked us. And we mutilated it like we usually do with foreign words.
It's
Yeah. Yes, Italia. See, this one they apparently asked the Italians.
Yeah. Got it.
Mexican.
Right. Oh, this is a fun one.
Hot sun.
Hansamu. Hansamu.
Ensemble.
I tell my son this all the time. Yes, handsome. Hansamu.
There's some ensemble.
Hansamu.
I can't understand what you're saying.
Shichu. This is a weird one. It's something you eat. Shichu. Stew.
Oh.
I know. It's like, really?
I heard something else.
Stew.
I thought something else.
Yeah, me.
Yeah. I don't know where they got that one from. Okay, this one is more like off of the spelling in English, or maybe it's from Spanish. Oasis. You find them in the desert, and you're very happy when you find it. Yes,
Okay.
oasis. Oasis.
What?
Yeah. Apparently in Spanish it's pronounced oasis. So that's closer. Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe
So
they
you
got
got
it from
the-
Spanish that time and not from
So
English.
can you drop the oo on that one? The su with the
Oasis. Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
Venus. Yeah. Again, Venus, but with the B spelling instead of the V spelling. Remember I said some of them they haven't decided yet which one they want to make standard? Most of you use one of these when you're eating.
Folk.
Hai poku. And
Check.
check it. And yes, check. Cola, as in Coca-Cola, Pepsi Cola. Yes.
I guess they didn't take the Canadian version of soda.
Yes, Roboto, Robert, one of the characters from your book.
What would they call a robot?
Roboto. Roboto, with a bo. Roboto. So yeah, domo arigato, Mr. Roboto was thank you, Mr. Robert, not Mr. Robot, like everybody thought. Kohi, yeah. Juice. Okay, some of these are repeats of ones we already went through. Salada, salad, right? Cotton. Curtain, yes. And the last one, because we're running out of time, Meari, yes. Again, one of your characters from the book, Mearis. Okay, so we'll do more of those next time. Actually, they have a Japanese word for that, hashi. Yeah, I suppose would be possible, but they would normally say hashi.
This is just getting messed up.
Yeah, right.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah.